Yo, what's up, YouTube? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you guys for being here today. Today, we are checking out Roxy Music with a song called More Than This, all right? This one is a donation request coming in. Roxy Music, I haven't ever heard of this group before. It actually sounds like a record label to me, Roxy Music, right? It sounds like a label that would be introducing something, but I assume it's the band's name. And More Than This, let's go ahead and read off the donation request. This is, "Hi, Sean. I would like to request More Than This by Roxy Music, the album version. Thank you. All right. So I appreciate the donation request. Appreciate that very much. So let's go ahead and dive into this one. I don't know what type of music they're making, but I do like this album cover. It looks like, some kind of medieval warrior with his hawk or falcon on his hand looking over the lake, maybe, with sky reflection on it. It looks really nice. And when I see an album cover like this, it makes me think like metal. I don't know if that's what we're getting, but let's go ahead and just dive in. Not make any perceived notions about what it could be, but let's go ahead and take a listen. I want to thank y'all for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the description. Consider becoming a member by hitting that join button down below. Fantastic way to help me if you guys are enjoying the content. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Here we are. Got an interesting voice.
There's nothing more than this. Tell me one thing more than this. There's nothing.
I love that little back guitar.
More than this. Nothing more than this. More than this.
I love that fall in the melody of the chorus. chill right here. Man, that gave me some feelings. That gave me some feelings about different. Oh, hold up. I like that. I can't tell if that last part was like a synthesizer or like some kind of strings. It's kind of sounded like violin-esque, but it could still just be the synthesizer. I like this one. It gave me a vibe of like a combination of different styles of music I've heard on this channel now, right? It kind of gave me like some of like the Cure kind of vibe. It gave me like the Aha kind of vibe with the Take on Me. Not it's not those songs, but it feels like a cousin of these combined. And then his singing style really reminded me. I could be off base with some of you guys, but it reminded me a reminiscence of like Roy Orbison. I don't know. He's got like this style where I'm just like, man, it's Roy. It sounds a little like Roy to me. Maybe, he's not got that deepness. He didn't use it here, but Roy uses this kind of like, I don't know if it would be like a harmony or what you would call it. But his voice, when he kind of drags on these notes and these words, he kind of drags them through. Man, he sounded like that to me. It reminded me of that. So this is chill, man. This is, I've used the comparison. I do it a lot when it comes to like these 80. I don't know if this would be considered like new wave-ish, but it reminds me of like these other songs I've heard where they're really just drift away songs. They're drift away. Either you're cruising or you're laying in your bed with your eyes closed and you're listening to this, and it's a stress reliever type of song. Is the vibe I get when I listen to these. Is like, oh man, they're just like takes the load off your shoulders. Right, that's the vibe I get with these songs. So this one hit that spot. What he's talking about, to me, it felt like it could be, it feels like kind of like a love song, but at the same time, some of the words he had mentioned, who couldn't have seen this coming, something about, you can't turn the tide. It feels like these are just the motions that a relationship will go through. But he's saying more than this, right? What can be more than this? So I don't know. Maybe it's like the end of something, but also saying, well, I don't want it to end. Like what could be more than this? More than what we have now. Why let that go? That's the vibe I was getting with it. Why let that go? What's going to be more than this? I won't find anyone that makes me happy more than you. You won't find anyone who offers you more than what I've done. Like, why don't we just try to figure this out? That's the vibe I got. Could be off base, right? But yeah, I love, there's like this backing guitar, not the lead guitar that's over in the right ear, but it's more of a faded guitar that I wish they had the volume up on, because I loved hearing that guitar the whole time, like coming in the right ear. Fantastic. But let's go ahead and learn a little bit more about More Than This. All right, guys, right here we got More Than This from Roxy Music, released in 1982, considered soft rock pop, sophistopop, and lounge rock, right? So you got the album version, which is the 430, which is longer than the single version. Good choice, right? Because the single version, I would assume, would cut off some of the instrumentation. That's usually what happens when I react to a song and there's like a shorter version, a longer version. I accidentally do like the shorter version. It seems like it always had cut off some of the instrumentation, right? The musical break. And you don't want to do that to a song. You do not want to do that, all right? So songwriters, Brian Ferry on this one. More Than This is a song by the English rock band Roxy Music. It was released in March 1982 as the first single from their 8th and final studio album. My goodness. It's always surprising to me that you've got a band like this, Roxy Music. I'm listening to something from their 8th and final studio album, and it's like the only song I've ever heard from them. So it's like, I don't know a lot of music, so let's be real. I'm just like, how did you escape? But truthfully, I realized doing this channel, my world of music got smaller and smaller and smaller, and became a speck of dust. All right, so I just don't know a lot about what's out there. So this channel's been exceptional for that. Composition: the song is written by lead vocalist Brian Ferry, who has stated in interviews that he began writing the song for Avalon while on the western coast of Ireland, which he believes contributed to the dark melancholy of the album. More Than This is somewhat unusual for a pop song in that Ferry's lead vocals end at 2 minutes 45 seconds, leaving the last minute 45 as synthesizer-driven instrumental outro. I thought it was good. I thought that's a good choice. So I always do enjoy a musical outro, like a minute plus I always enjoy that. I think it's fantastic. You know, Metallica does that a lot. Different genre entirely, but same situation. So personnel, musicians, you got lead vocals, keyboards, lead guitar, saxophone, guitar, bass guitar, percussion, backing vocals, and drums. So yeah, I'm talking about this guy right here, Neil Hubbard. I'm assuming that was you. If you weren't the lead and you were the backing dude, his parts, I really liked it. All right, I really liked his parts. All right, so that's what we got with this one. Thank you for the donation request on this one. Hadn't heard this group before, so great introduction. Appreciate that. Let me know if there's more from Roxy Music that you guys appreciate and enjoy that you think I should take a listen to. All right, so appreciate this one. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the description, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.